Hi, friends. My name is Amanda, and I am not a vlogger, but we are living in weird, unprecedented, bizarre times. It's March 27th. I've been sheltered in place for 3 weeks, and people are struggling. We are having a hard time, all of us. Monday was my day. It was bad. I got kicked out of my house to go be mean to somebody else somewhere else. But I came back from it. We're all going to come back from it. You're going to come back from it. And I keep thinking, what do we do to help each other? How do we contribute to each other in these kind of bizarre shelter-in-place circumstances? And I believe that we all should use our strengths and what we know. What I know is a really obsessively absurd amount of what Shawn Achor and Laurie Santos, Martin Siegelman, and Michael Acton Smith have said about positivity psychology. And over this study of about 3 years, I've learned from them that the research all says the same thing. They're all separate researchers. They've been doing this, it's been going on since 1950. And the things that we know about happiness mostly is that it's controllable, which is great news for all of us who are stuck in our houses and getting less and less in control every day. So 3 things about happiness. First of all, it's a huge advantage in life. Duh. But happiness makes you live longer. Happy people make more money. They're more popular. They have wider social networks. And they just in general are living a better life. Happiness. But before you think, well, duh, don't tell me to be happy. I'm not telling you to be happy. Happiness is something that we can control through really small micro choices that we can make every day, and that can become a part of how your brain works. The world hasn't wired us, and in some ways biology doesn't wire us to exercise happiness. But if we will do a few really easy, simple things, we can increase our happiness ourselves. The third thing is that happiness is a social animal. Happiness is almost always a social animal. The connection, Shawn Achor says, between happiness and long-term results social connection and long-term happiness is 0.7, which doesn't sound very sexy in his words, but is actually greater than the connection between cancer and smoking. So what I thought I would do is take these things that we know and the little tips and strategies that I've learned in workshops and podcasts and you sort of synthesize them and put them together. It's not easy to do a Google search on this and find it all the time. But here's what I've learned, and I'm going to share one at a time. And here's the first one. The first one is gratitude. And you might think that sounds like a platitude, but it's not. I'm not talking generic gratitude, although that's great too. Being grateful is always good. But if you will take on the strategy of scanning through your day every day and going, here's everything that happened today. What am I grateful for? And pulling out specific moments and connecting them to something you're grateful for and writing those down, you are working on training your brain to look for those moments. The scan of the day is really important. You're scanning for the good things that happen that you're grateful for. The specificity is really important. And so to give you an example, if I'm scanning through today, these don't have to be big things. Most of the time, they're not big things. So I'm scanning through my day. I stood out in the warm sunshine, and I really loved the way that felt. Simple. Maybe you did today too. And so to say, I'm really grateful to be able to stand in my own backyard and feel the sunlight on my face, that's a wonderful feeling. It's specific. You're exercising gratitude. Instead of being, I'm grateful for my family, get it down and be more specific. My husband started the day with a hug to me before we even got out of bed. And that makes me feel unconditionally loved. And I'm really grateful that I have that kind of love in my life. Specific, write it down. It takes 3 minutes to do this. If you will do it, you'll find that your brain starts to scan for things while you're living them instead of after you've lived them. So for the first maybe week or so, you're doing it, you're just enjoying scanning through your day and looking for good things. As you move forward, you'll start to realize that your brain is scanning on an ongoing basis for the things that you're going to put in your journal later that night. And if you do it for a really long time, Shawn Achors is 21 days. I take those kinds of things with a grain of salt, but whatever, you need goals, 21 days. You'll begin to realize that your brain has begun to scan for the positive while you're living your life instead of scan for the negative. And if you were to take your brain and analyze it right now, I promise you, unless you're doing something to counteract it, your brain is scanning for the negative. It's what we do. We are wired to survive that way. So give that a try. Now let's tag on a social interaction to it to make it even more powerful. If you live with other people, do this together. What are you grateful for? Scan your day, write it down, share it with each other. You're going to strengthen your relationship with the people that you're living with. If you're alone in your house right now, call someone. Better yet, FaceTime them. Send someone a Marco Polo video explaining what you're grateful for that day. It's going to reinforce it for you, and it's going to tie that social connection. It's also going to make you more likely to do it because you feel a little bit of accountability to someone else to hear about it. And that's always a good thing. Even though you could call somebody different every day, that encourages them to be grateful for what's going on in their day too. So, do it with your best friend on Zoom. Do it with your least favorite friend on Zoom. Do it with your enemy on Zoom. Let's all be grateful for things. And I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for a computer to make this video on. I'm grateful for the internet that lets us share ideas. And maybe this was helpful to you. Maybe it sucked. Maybe it was stupid. Don't tell me so in a comment though, because that's just rude. I will be back with another tip. My next video will be shorter. And I love you, friends. Stick together. Stay safe. If you're sticking together, be in your house or 6 feet apart. Bye, friends.